A couple of days after Christmas, this article in the Wall Street Journal caught my attention. It was titled, "Will 2024 Mark the End of Digital Agencies?" And I wasn't planning on talking about that this week. What I was going to talk about this week was this new approach we're using to pulling leads from your website. And we're getting great, 25% conversion rates. It's crazy from contacts to calls. So I was going to talk to you a little bit about that and how that works. But I'm glad that this article caught my attention, because what we're going to talk about today basically sets the stage for and explains why this new approach that we're taking to websites is so effective. So if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, because I don't want you to miss the video about the websites. But the sentence in this article that really stood out to me was this one right here. It says, "Now the arrival of generative artificial intelligence threatens to put a period on the generalist digital agencies." And that's really what stood out to me. And it wasn't because I was surprised by that. Are you surprised by that? Are you surprised that people feel like AI is going to disrupt web design and digital agencies? That doesn't surprise me. The reason that stood out to me is because I had this same exact prediction in a video that I posted on April 27th, 2002, that this is where we were going with all of this. And I was kind of just surprised and happy that the Wall Street Journal is kind of confirming my prediction. But here's where I think my view is different from what I'm hearing other people talking about. I don't think the threat is that business owners are going to start building their own websites because now they have all these cool AI tools, and now we're out of a job because people can just build their own websites for free and super easy. Maybe if you're targeting like small startup, side hustle kind of businesses where maybe they were going to spend $500 on a website or whatever, but now they can do it for free on their own or whatever. Maybe something like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like my clients, our clients, like people that have a full-time business. They're trying to make at least $100,000 a year with their business. Almost all of my clients are like functional medicine doctors, concierge medicine, private practice. And there is no way that any of these doctors are gonna build their own websites. Just yesterday, I was fiddling around with this website. It's called zipwp.com, like zipwp.com. Really cool platform, AI powered. Basically, the way it works, you can create a free account. You log in, and just with like a paragraph of information and picking just a couple options, you just like type a little bit about what your business is and what you do and everything. Pick what industry you're in, and basically hit go. And then like a minute later, you have a complete WordPress website. I think it's using the Astra theme, and I believe it's the Spectra page builder. It's like this really nice WordPress website. You've got the copy, you've got the images, you've got the color palette, you've got the whole thing sitting right there for free, right? And so some people are thinking, well, because it's so easy to do all of that, then these business owners are just going to like, in less information than they would have to email you as a web designer, they can just type it into this form, into this AI thing, and boom, now they got a website. And so why do they need us anymore? I don't think that's the problem. There's no way that these doctors are going to stop seeing their patients and stop driving hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars a year into their business so they can go log into ZipWP and build a website. Nobody's going to do that, right? I can hardly even get them to log into Zoom for a meeting. They're not. It's not that they can't do it, and it's not that they're not smart enough to understand how to do it. It's just that they don't want to do it. It's a bad use of their time. In other words, it's stupid. It would be stupid for them to do that. But here's the thing. It's not that they're going to take our work away from us because they're going to do it themselves. What they're going to do, though, our clients are going to change who they hire. So it's not, do they do it or do we do it? It's, do you do it or does your competition do it? It's are you going to be stuck building just standalone one-off websites, or are you going to migrate your business into something that's more niche specific, results oriented, solution driven, like where you're driving traffic, pulling leads, landing clients, driving more revenue, improving client retention, getting reviews, social proof, like the whole package. Like, I don't think anybody's going to want the standalone websites anymore. And so what's going to happen is there's going to be some people who just get stuck building standalone websites, and there's going to be other people that have this whole results-driven mindset. And I think these doctors and the rest of our clients are going to hire the people that drive the results rather than hiring the people that just build the websites. I think that's the huge shift. I don't hear a lot of people talking about that, though, but I think that I feel 100% certain. We're already seeing that that's the way that it's going. So then the question is, okay, well, how do you prepare for that? Like, what do you do to prepare to be a results-driven, solution-oriented business? And I think there's 3 steps to go forward with all of this. The first one is you got to build a niche-specific solution, like not to be a generalist. Like the whole problem with the Wall Street Journal article is they're saying it's the end of generalists. and that the solution is to narrow down, like to niche down. But I'm going to take it a step further, and I say, I think it's more than just niching down. I think what you want to do, and certainly what we talk about in Blue Theory and in DoubleStack and everything, is how do you build a solution for the niche? And that there's really like kind of 3 little micro steps that go into it. The first one is you have to know who the audience is so that you can know what outcomes they want. And once you know the outcomes, then you build a solution that delivers the outcomes for the audience. So it's kind of that sort of 3-tiered approach to it. And I'll tell you, again, let me give you an example to illustrate the point here. If you were going to be working with businesses that did like windshield repair, like I'm driving down the road, a pebble flies up, cracks the window, and then I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to have to get this fixed. Well, I don't have to watch a webinar or join an email list or have a lead nurturing drip campaign or whatever to know that I cracked my windshield and I need to get it fixed. What I need to do instead is I just need to find somebody that's hopefully near me, that's got a lot of good reviews, I feel like they're reputable, and are going to do a good job fixing my windshield. So if you're working with businesses that are sort of like the windshield repair shop, then it's all about visibility, authority, social proof, professional branding, all of that kind of stuff. On the other hand, what if you're working with clients that do something like solar panel installation on your roof or whatever? So if I was going to buy solar panels for my house, then yeah, maybe I do want to watch a webinar, or maybe I want to get on an email list and get a drip campaign to kind of educate me on what's involved, because I'm going to have questions. I'm going to be like, well, how much stuff can I power with the solar panels? And do I need to get like a giant battery array, or am I going to feed electricity back into the grid? And do I even live in a place where I have enough sun? And if so, what is it? What about cloudy days in the winter? And there's so much stuff. Are there tax credits or benefits to doing all this based on where I live? There's a lot of stuff that I want to know before I buy the solar panels, right? So like the client acquisition process for the solar panel company is going to be very different from the windshield repair company, because the solar panel company they got to be discovered. They have to be authoritative, just like the windshield people. But they also need like this lead acquisition and nurturing process, the client onboarding process, maybe even client retention to keep people coming back for maintenance and whatever. Like there's a lot more to it for some businesses than there are for others. And so that's why you need to know, well, what's the niche going to be and what outcomes does that niche need, so that I can build a solution that has all the steps necessary for their needs. And you do that up front. So then the question is, well, how do I pick the right niche? Well, if you feel stuck or stumped on that, just go to lead.blue/leads and try the niche mastery course. It's totally free. And there's like 8 videos in there. And one of the video at the top goes into great detail about how to pick the right niche category. And then there's a bunch of videos below that so that you can find out how to actually get leads, basically unlimited leads from within the niche that you pick for free. The whole thing is totally free. You don't have to buy anything. And that'll really help you solve the problem of who should I be working with? What should my niche be? So that way you can build that niche driven solution. But then you get to step 2, which is, okay, now that you've got the solution, it would be really nice if people started calling you. Like if qualified leads from within your niche started calling you to actually buy the stuff. And there's some stuff that just doesn't work anymore. Like, for example, I don't think that it's really effective to run ads for websites, because people don't need websites anymore. We just kind of figured out that it's more about the results and the overall solution than just web design. Likewise, I don't think it does any good to call people and say, hey, do you need a site review or an SEO audit or anything like that? Cold calling doesn't seem to be very effective. So we use small favor marketing, and small favor marketing is crushing. And that's one of the things I'm going to be talking about next week when we talk about how to pull leads from your website, is how does your website get integrated into this concept of small favor marketing? But basically, here's the idea of small favor marketing. You look back at your solution that we just talked about in step 1, and you pull one thing out of it that you could do for free, and you offer that free thing to people. So then they call you. So now you're getting people calling you from within the niche that you've selected. So you already know that they're qualified leads, and you know that they're qualified because the thing that you're offering is specifically for their type of business. It's specifically for the types of clients you're trying to reach out to. And we're seeing like 25% conversion rates from contacts to calls with small favor marketing, at least 10% if you've never even done it before. The more you do it, the better you get. But that's like 10 to 20 times better. That's a lot better than traditional cold outreach campaigns. And it's free because you don't have to buy ads. You just do it organically. So that's step 2 of lead generation. But then you get into this third step, which is, okay, well, now you've got people calling you for this small favor thing that you're going to do for free. How do you onboard those people into paying clients? And I'd like you to do it in one call. Like you don't have to write a proposal. You don't have to figure out what people need. You don't have to figure out the pricing. Like all of that stuff is stuff that you figured out way back in step 1 when you built the solution first. And now you've got people that you know are qualified for your solution because that's who you're targeting with your marketing. And now they get on a call with you And by the end of the call, I would like to go from doing the free thing into having them hire you for some stuff, some of your paid services. And so I can help you with that whole script. Here's how it kind of works. Do you remember way back when with like the Apple ecosystem, when Apple came out with iTunes for Windows? And so iTunes for Windows was free, right? So it's a small favor that you can get for free. And then you install iTunes on your laptop and you're like managing your music, and it's awesome and it's better than whatever other music managers that were around back at the time. And you're like, man, Apple really has their stuff together. This is great. And then they're like, hey, wouldn't it be great if you could take your songs with you and you could get this iPod Shuffle? Remember the iPod Shuffle, the little like postage stamp, like had a little clampy thing on it. You could like pinch it on your shirt and go jogging or whatever. It's like, that was a really cool MP3 player. And so yeah, that'd be really cool. So you kind of go from the free thing to this paid thing. So now you bought the iPod Shuffle for $99 or something. And then they're like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you had like a screen on your Shuffle? Like, what if you had an iPhone instead of just an iPod Shuffle? You're like, yeah, that really would be cool. And so you kind of go from the Shuffle to the iPhone. And they're like, wouldn't it be great if you had the MacBook? Because then you can send messages, iMessages from your laptop and your phone. And so you just sort of gradually escalate your way into the rest of the Apple ecosystem. But it all started with that free thing. It all started with iTunes. That's the idea for this one call close concept, where you get the small favor person calling you in for the free thing, and you end up with somebody paying you for stuff by the end of the call. So those are the 3 steps. It's the niche specific solution, the lead generation, and then onboarding the clients. And if you join me in Blue Theory, I'll show you how to do all of that same stuff. But that's the overall process. So what's the big summary takeaway? Well, really, I think there's 3 big summaries. The first one is, don't be worried about business owners building their own websites and kind of stealing jobs from us. Like you and me, I don't feel like we have to worry about that. We need to worry about whether or not our competitors are going to be taking the jobs from us. Like, are we going to be stuck building standalone websites, or are we going to be the kind of people who drive results and drive traffic and leads and clients and client retention and more revenue and all of that stuff? And I think that's where you want to be. In order to be there, you want to be in a niche specific solution. So that means step 2 is got to specialize in some kind of niche. So check out lead.blue/leads if you haven't already, and I can help you with the niche thing. It's totally free. And then step 3 is, don't forget to subscribe, because we're going to be talking about how to use your website in this whole small favor marketing thing for next week. So that's what I would say would be a cool summary with all of this stuff. And then last, but certainly not least, if you want to see any more of my predictions as to what I think is actually going to happen in 2024, here's what I'm doing to prepare for this year right here. So check that video out, and I'll see you right there.